Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Scott K. I haven't really done reviews on pre-built keyboards, but today I'm covering a production keyboard that piqued my interest after finding it on Amazon and reading about it on some discussion boards. The keyboard I am referring to is the AR87 by ABKO, or as I like to call it, the Korean tank. This TKL weighs in at almost 7 pounds and truly pushes the limits of what a production board is supposed to be. Another intriguing thing about this keyboard is that it's supposedly designed by LZ, or Lifezone, who is a prominent Korean keyboard designer responsible for the likes of the LZ GH, the SC, CLS, and so on. Finally, this thing looks so similar to a Duck Orion V2, which is not a bad thing since the Duck has an amazing looking side that looks just like this. While it doesn't feature per key RGB, it does have a very nice side LED strip with various color options that you could toggle through. I had a chance to reach out to ABKO for an AR87 to review, and they graciously sent me one to tinker with. The version I received features cherry MX reds, which are not my favorite, but does feature the black nylon housings. So what does this thing sound like stock? Let's take a look. Right off the bat, you can really tell the heft and the solidness of the case, but quickly realize that the keyboard is limited by the scratchy unlubed switch and the loose stock stabilizers. Here is pretty much what an unlubed cherry red MX red sounds like, and it's not the best. Yep, so I could have ended the review right here. This is a heavy Korean pre-built with a super solid case and cherry switches and stabs. But if I did, I wouldn't be Scott and this wouldn't be Keybored. So I decided to see what kind of results I can get if I mod it a bit. So let's get started. As stated before, the keyboard comes pre-installed with cherry MX reds and they are all soldered in. Also, it comes with a set of PBT die sub keycaps with good legends and which are actually very thick and of nice quality. So I decided to keep using these on this keyboard. To get started, I separate the case by unscrewing the 8 or so screws below and lifting up on the top case. This is where you're greeted by an interesting surprise. This keyboard is actually a tray mount. The top plate is also unique, with the plate actually wrapping 90 degrees in the front and back. This uniqueness continues as you can see the side of the plate extends and sits on top of the lower tray. I feel like there's some interesting mod potential with this, but we'll explore that next time. Once you remove the 10 screws holding the plate down into the lower tray, you can gently grab the side of the plate and lift the entire plate assembly up and out. At this point, you can see the numerous standoffs below and also discover that ABKO added in some sound deadening in the AR87. Here's a better look at the lower overall case assembly, and if we lift the sound foam up and out, you can see that the 10 large standoffs protruding from the lower tray. When I typically see standoffs in tray mounts, my mind goes straight to one thing, O-rings. We will discuss that option later. So I mentioned tray foam. This does come with it, which is a nice add-on to reduce ping, but the material is very thin and I do see some upgrade potential here, so I'll be grabbing some shelf liner. With the plate and PCB assembly out, you can see the cherry MX reds in full glory. I'll be desoldering these. Here is a better look at the underside of the PCB. The board itself is red and there isn't anything too special to point out here. Another look at how the plate wraps the edge of the PCB, which is unique. For the switch upgrade, I decided to go with a set of lubed and filmed Gat Yellow KS3 yellows in full nylon. You can't really go wrong with these for pretty much any application. While at it, I decided to use a set of fresh Durock plate mount stabs, and I did the bar end wrap mod and also applied band-aid to the plate cutouts for increased tightness and to eliminate any potential rattles. I won't bore you with my subpar soldering skills, so let's jump right ahead to the finished results. Remember what we talked about the foam before? It's a nice touch that ABKO added it in, but it is somewhat on the thin side and could use an upgrade. So I grabbed my trusty zip and fit shelf liner and cut everything out to the perfect size and fit. Now, what do we do about the fact that this is a tray mount keyboard? We O-ring it. In this case, I am not able to use a standard 1.5mm thick O-ring. There just isn't enough space. The rear USB opening, the cutout is so precise that any additional thickness wouldn't allow the USB port to clear. So I have to improvise and use a thinner 1mm O-ring instead, but the results were still great. To start, you grab the plate screw like this and grab the silicone O-ring with the tweezer. Stretch the O-ring with the tweezer, then slide it over the screw threads like this and push it all the way through to the end. You can also use your fingers to ensure the O-ring made it through to the end. Then, you drop the screw with the O-ring onto the plate screw opening like this. Flip the plate over, and while holding the screw head from the other side, stretch another O-ring with your tweezer and apply it to the thread. Repeat this for the remaining 9 screws. Once you have the screws all in place, gently place it onto the lower tray and start the tightening process. For most O-ring mods, I try not to over tighten and just use my finger, but in this case you do need to screw it down further so that it clears the USB port. For smaller keyboards, I do only use the outer 4 standoffs, but for something this big, I decided to do all 10 standoffs for increased stability as well. You can see here that with those adjustments, the USB port clears the cutout just perfect. I did not have any issues with the cable clearing the opening or any additional strain on the port. Now here's a good look before we install the rest of the case. Similar to what you have done before, place the top frame onto the lower case and screw down the 8 screws below to secure it. With all these mods, what kind of impact did it have on the big boy keyboard? Let's do a quick typing test to find out. So, what do you think? When I first took this keyboard out of the box, I thought, wow, when did they start building pre-builds like this? You typically get heft like this in higher end custom boards, and I was surprised to see this in a $239 production keyboard. The overall build quality and construction was excellent, and I did feel the anodization was better on this than some customs I've seen. I feel like if this was a hot swap board and had the ability to accept screw-in stabilizers, it would be an amazing choice for someone looking for a premium TKL without the group buy weights. However, with the mods shown, I feel this keyboard produces a very clean sound signature that rivals some full custom boards, and I really did enjoy typing on it. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I will have more content for you in the future. Thanks.